That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just breathing in bags of gas.
We are live now, Mr. Jenks.
Great. Awesome.
Perfect way to start.
The laughing gas.
Laughing gas, yo.
Yep.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Road to Elturel, our Saturday game here on CarpeDM Live. Last time on the Road to Elturel, our party was split into two groups. One of these groups consists of the dynamic duo, Seymour and Kaya, who, against all odds, remained patient, did not make any impulsive choices, and managed to escape a group of cultists with some folks in tow. Sybil, the wife of the local alchemist, City, who the gang was helping out, and Sir Marcos, who they had met and traveled with for a bit on the road and who was kidnapped by the cultists. They managed to save both of these people. No one died. And then with our other group, Hattie and Reyna and Snipe and Hera, they were all down in a city called Skirnabel, the city of caravans. And they were looking into some murders that had been occurring over the past month, which seemed to implicate members of the Church of Ilmater because of the way that the bodies were found with their hands bound with red cord. They talked to the captain of the guards. He gave them a little more information. And then they headed to the Bloody Oak, where Snipe is scheduled to meet with one Lord Artaxis, a mysterious figure that the party originally encountered back in the Misty Forest. So, we pick up where we left off in the room of Reyna. Hattie is here, Snipe is here, and Reyna just recently had a conversation with a silver spider pendant, the Argent Spider, through which she is able to talk to the goddess Lolth, who told her, when asked, that Lord Artaxis would, in some way, assist them, and that they should talk to him. What are you all up to next?
Well, I have, if we're not going tonight, I have things that I need to do, monk paperwork. So I'm gonna head off to my room and do that paperwork.
I think we're gonna go tonight, but not right now.
Okay,
I think the
paperwork.
plan is to go tonight.
Give me a shout when. Okay, and Hattie's gonna leave.
Imagine a situation where your friend just did something crazy and you're just like, wow, okay.
I'm out.
I got
wow.
shit to do.
All right.
No, she's like trying to remember as much as what she can remember as possible so she can quickly go and replicate it. Like there's a...
Okay, all right. So the vibe is Hattie is just like staring into the middle distance, mumbling to herself everything that just happened. She's like, okay, I'll talk to you guys later. And then just like goes up. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah. What are the other two of you doing until nightfall?
Now we got some information about who he is and what his intent is. I'm curious what he'll offer, what he'll do.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we're going to be facing, or what I'm going to be facing. I don't think he's not just going to hand. He's not going to hand the other side of me over.
You think he has it already?
No. I think he nearly has it, but he just needs me to finish it off.
What can you do with your other half? What is so powerful about them?
Here, I don't know.
Back in your
Back in my own home, I used to do a lot more. I was usually praised for how fucking lucky I was to just get out of situations that most creatures would die or just disappear from forever. I mean, it wasn't all me though. I mean, I did get some help from a lot of friends.
Because if he's a lordling from the abyss, did I say that right? Is it the abyss or is it? Yeah, he's a lordling of the abyss.
Mhm.
How could your other half benefit him? Like, how could he use it? What can he do with it?
Anything. I'm scared though. I don't even think he knows what he could do with me. Because back in my world, I'm not sure how demons are in this world, but demons back in my world are destroyers by nature. There are some higher beings, celestial in some ways, who are creators, and everything that's in the middle, more mortal, more human things, they're the maintainers. Us demons, we're the ones who finish things.
Yeah, demons over here are chaos makers. They are not. They're not to be reasoned with over here.
No.
Yeah, Raina, if you want to, you can make like a history, an arcana, or religion check.
Yeah, because me personally knows about it, but I don't want to spit everything out.
No, it's all good.
That's 14.
Which skill did you choose to use?
It's both +7 and I rolled a 7, so it's 14 either way. I can choose either. I can choose history or religion. It's the same.
Well, it's gonna change the flavor of the information a little depending on which one you use.
I'll choose history.
History, okay. So you know that the history of the world with demons, it depends on which demon you're talking about. They are Snipe is telling you that in their world, like, all demons are destroyers. And you know that in the history of the Forgotten Realms, some of the history that you've lived through, demons aren't necessarily destroyers. It's that they want the world their way. So you know that the most famous, the prince of demons, the Demigorgon wants to destroy everything. Just wants everything to be gone. But you have also heard of Orcus, who is another well-known and largely and widely feared demon lord. And it's sort of the understanding of people that his objective is for the entire universe to be filled with undeath. So it's not necessarily that he wants to destroy everything, it's that he wants everything to be not alive.
Yeah.
So there's similarities and there's differences between the two.
I think because he is a lordling. I'm just not sure. They are people creatures from the abyss are very persistent in what they want. They are very eager to have everything in their way, in their favor.
It's interesting.
So if he helps us finding this piece of you back, he probably wants it for himself.
Yeah. It's funny for me. Because in my universe, we're destroyers, and obviously some people think destruction is obviously bad. But sometimes it's not. You know, destruction can come in the form of ripping out a tyrannical kingdom, ending evil souls, you know, destroying chains that keep people down. Some people try to control demons, but in the end that's just leading to their demise, because that's what we do. I think he wants me, and wants that part of me so that he can control me and use me, but I think in the end that could end up being his demise if he's not careful.
Yeah.
Either way, I need to get myself back.
If he were to use you in some weird, creepy way, what would he get out of it?
Power. It's what everyone wants, right?
Yeah, but why specifically you?
I don't know. Maybe we can ask him.
Yeah.
Hattie.
Either way.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go
No,
on,
it's
Snipe.
alright.
Hattie, you toddle off back to your room.
But I'm not ready. I was hoping to buy some time. Fuck, but go on.
You want us to go on? Or
Keep rambling, it's fine. I'm just sitting here and panic gently. It's fine. I don't like that cackling.
I'm not cackling. I'm just laughing at the fact that you're panicked over what is entirely a made-up story that we're making up on the spot as we go.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, so how do you want a few extra seconds?
No, it's fine.
Okay. So what
I
is
just
it
want
that
you to know I'm panicking.
Okay, that's fine. We'll chalk it up to nerves with whatever you're about to try and do. So what is it that Hattie is attempting to do back in her room? So you leave, you wander down the hall past Hailra's door to your room, and then you...
Fuck, I forgot. Can I turn around and go back to the room? Just knock on the door and kind of do like a mum thing where they go in the room to interrupt, but I need to interrupt type thing.
Back to Raina's door?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Snipe.
Come in. Yeah?
The pin, the candlekeep pin, can I...
the what?
You've had it for a while and I didn't want to ask it for it back, but I did. It lights up when you touch it. I let you borrow it.
Did you? I don't remember that.
It's
I
on
get
your
my
jacket.
amulets out and just find it. Just give it back if I find it.
Yeah, there's the glass terrarium, there's the gold tooth, there's the bone earring, and in amongst that there's the little pin that's the pin of exaltation. Get back.
Yeah, thank you. I was kind of worried the stoat. Anyway, have fun, and she'll leave again.
Right.
And go back to her, or go into her own room for the first time. Check out the tub, important feature. And then sit down on the bed. And she's going to get the little charm that she got from the library in Waterdeep. Was that? I can't remember. Was it a keychain? Was it a necklace?
It was like a charm for a bracelet. I don't think that Hattie has a bracelet to put it on, but it's just like a bracelet charm.
Okay, so she's gonna try and fashion, take the pin apart and then put try and catch the charm in between the pin and her jacket, so she kind of pins it to herself.
Okay. Okay. So you're trying to it's you could kind of make that work.
Okay. And then she's gonna... What am I doing? Oh my god, okay. And then she's gonna sit down on the bed Or she's already sitting down on the bed. I'm buying for time. And she's gonna get out the book, the notebook, her Candlekeep notebook, and she's just gonna write down everything that's happened so far.
Okay. This is the new one that she bought. That's going to have all the fake names in it.
Yes.
Okay.
Transfer it all. And then like update it as well, so it's like up to date. Just to, I don't know how many times she has or has not updated this notebook because I lost track at one point. I am so sorry.
It's all good.
And then when she's finished doing that, she's going to close both notebooks and put them to the side. And then she is going to get out the notebook from the Lonely Tower.
Okay.
And open it to a blank page, just a blank spread. And she's going to like leave a pen on it. The dark, being stabbed a lot. Are you eating popcorn? Okay.
No, not trying to make fun. I'm literally just eating popcorn.
That's great. And then she's going to sit down and she is going to kind of focus and meditate on Orgma.
Okay. So it's like middle of the afternoon. So like you kind of got the dusk sun coming into the room. It's sort of like your typical inn fare. There's like an iron stove in the corner. There's of course the copper bath that you sprung for in the other room. The bed's like pretty nice. It's got like a slightly better than average mattress that isn't just stuffed full of straw. And you can kind of hear the music and stuff floating up from the tap room down the hall and down the stairs. And you open this notebook and it has your name, Hattie Curtis. It has this goal that Ardius wrote in it of finding who you are. It has the prayer that you copied from the Book of Ogma.
Fuck, I forgot about that. Fuck.
Yeah.
This is why I need a minute to prepare.
It's all good. Do you wanna do anything with that? Because that's in the book. It's going to be like, because the way that I imagine this is all written out, it's just like the scribbled notes are on the first page. The prayer would be on the back of that first page. So the first blank page would be across the book from the prayer.
Yeah. So yeah, she's probably just gonna read out the prayer in like a, I don't even know how religion works. Yeah, she's just gonna like read out the prayer and meditate.
Okay, you go ahead and read out the prayer. No, I'm kidding.
It's like a test.
Okay.
You got a B-.
A B is generous.
Okay. And you're just trying to pray to contact. Is there a question that you're trying to ask, or what are you trying to get out of this experience, Eddie?
She has 3 questions.
Okay. What are the 3 questions?
I feel like I've limited myself to 3 now, and I feel like it's a genie situation.
I was gonna say it's not 3 questions with Hattie.
She has some questions.
We're gonna call it 3 for our purposes.
So she wants to know what is going to happen in Elturel, or what to expect, or how to prepare. Like the D+. All right, okay, Naomi.
Are you performing a
out there?
commune spell?
Yeah, just using the commune. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So the idea behind what is going to happen in Elturel is that she wants to know how to prepare. She then wants to know who is killing people here, and how to like find them out. And then the third one is how she can help save Snipe.
So here's how this is going to work. Because they're right. This is functionally, what you're trying to do is functionally a commune spell. However, it has been established that Hattie is not a particularly religious person.
Literally would take any god at this point.
Just grabbing hold of the first god you know. And the other thing too is for the audience at home who may have missed whenever we have gone over this in the past, this is similar to what Reyna does on a fairly regular basis. However, Reyna doing it is by and large very strange. So like when you guys were up at the Borskier Bridge, right? The people maintaining the shrine of Eldath at the Borskier Bridge, basically when Reyna put a stop to things by calling peace, you had to fight your way through a crowd of people who had made their way into the shrine to pray. They had just seen perhaps the greatest miracle of their lifetime and maybe the only miracle they'll ever see in their lifetime. Whenever you were at the Church of Bane, they had a very nice church, but you didn't actually see them do anything like impressive. And even at the cloisters of the Tier, you haven't really seen any of the healers do healing magic. You just know that they're called healers. And the Font of Knowledge in Waterdeep is essentially just a giant public library. So, all that to say that
Hattie's an idiot, okay? I'm not...
No, it's fine. No, I'm absolutely going to let you do this. I just want you to understand whenever I explain to you how it's going to work, why it sounds really hard. It's because this is a very hard thing that you're trying to do.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Okay. So, I want you to make 2 checks for me. The first is going to be a religion check. And then depending on how well you do on that, is going to determine how difficult the second check you make is going to be.
I'm going to do this on
awesome.
D&D Beyond, and then
Great, so we can watch.
blame them.
D&D Beyond have won, maybe a future sponsor. Who knows? Probably
Just
not
as you
anymore.
know, watch this space. Just so you know, my religion modifier is +0.
Oh, I know. I looked. I looked beforehand.
15?
Okay. So let me do a little math here.
Oh no, that's maths. Oh no. Were we boring you, Dave?
Yeah.
Ha!
He's got no hope in Hattie.
He's just like, nah, it's not
15.
gonna work out.
How dare you? You didn't even reach
This
the
party?
20s.
No.
So, good news, Hattie. With a 15 religion check, there is actually a chance that you might succeed on this second check.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It started at DC 30, and for every 5 you got on the religion check, it brought the DC down by 5. So there's actually a chance that you might pass this. I need you to roll me a wisdom insight check.
So just a d20 and what? I'm confused.
Your insight, so a +6.
Oh, okay. Idiot. It's fine. It was just phrased in a way that in my panic, it didn't.
It's all good.
23?
Pretty good. So let's see.
I've never been more stressed in my life. Hattie's nearly died and I haven't been this stressed.
Right. Of your 3 questions, which one do you want the answer to the most? Do you want to know the murder in Skrinabel, what's happening in Elturel, or how to save Snipe? Which one do you want an answer to?
Elturel, Snipe, Scornabel.
Mm-hmm.
That's the order.
Yep.
Elturel first. Elturel's the one that's been bothering her the most.
Let's see. So you think about what's happening in Elturel and what you're wondering about Elturel. And you start to get this idea, this picture in your mind. And you start thinking about keeping books and how the way that Candlekeep is able to maintain its collection is that there are wards that prevent the books from being worn. But in the city where you grew up, Arcanum, there was a building called the Grand Library, which was built by a group of wizards whose magic school had closed down, who tried to study at Candlekeep, but Candlekeep refused them because they didn't have the books to get in. And out of spite, they decided to build their own library right next to Candlekeep.
Hey.
And you have this thought, this memory from when you were young. And you're not even sure if it's a dream or a memory. You don't remember if this was something you actually experienced or not. But you remember this old book. And it was beautiful and it was gilded. And it was like one of these books that, like, you weren't even sure if you should be allowed to handle it because it looks so ornate and like fancy. And you remember as you were looking at it, the front cover started to move. And then a bookworm ate up through the cover. And when you open the book, all of the pages were gone because the book was actually filled with bookworms.
Okay.
And that's the thought that you have as you're trying to think about, as you call out to Agma and you ask what's going on in Elturel. That's the idea that comes to your mind, this idea that this beautiful gilded book was actually full of bookworms the entire time.
Okay. Hattie's going to write this down in the book that she got from the Lonely Tower.
Sure. How do you phrase it in the book?
She's going to write the question of what will happen in Elturel.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's going to write from Orgma with a question mark. And then write out what she, like, just remembered question mark.
Okay.
And then she is going to go stand by the bathtub.
Okay.
How big is it compared to her?
Oh my God, Hattie, this is made for a full-size person. So this is like, the lip of the tub is your eye level. Let's start there.
Okay. So I don't know how baths really work. I'm guessing there aren't like taps on it.
So there's not. The way that this works is there is a do you know those ovens? I can never remember the name of them, but they're like, you throw a towel over them and they like sit under a table. And it's just like a bed of hot coals, but it's supposed to like heat up your feet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean. I don't
can't
know the
remember
word
the
for
name.
him.
Yeah, I can't think of a name for it either. There's a name for it.
I think
But
we
it's
all
like-
understand what you mean, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So functionally, like beneath this tub, there is a box made, and you can see that inside the box is like a set of hot coals that just like sits under the tub. So and there's like there's like a pump in the room so that you can like pour water in, and then it's like you heat up the tub. There's also like a little shelf, and there's several like colorful little jars. Just like
Okay.
one's pink, one's green, one's blue.
She's going to go and fill up the tub, like
Mhm.
get it all heating up, and then she's going to pour every single bottle
Over your head, just like
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to pour every single bottle into this bathtub.
Hmm. Oh my god. Okay.
It's gonna be a scene out of Spirited Away.
Oh no. Yeah.
Roll me a D100, please.
I have one on D&D Beyond, the Incredible. Do I have one on D&D Beyond? I
Yeah.
do.
I always get nervous with D100s. 'Cause it could be wild magic. It's shit.
20. No, I do. I have 2
20.
D10s. I don't have like a anyway. 20.
All right.
That was just
Uh,
me being an idiot. Don't worry about it.
You'll have to give me one moment to find the correct page in this book.
By the way, I really like the description of the book, DM. Really cool. Really nice.
Thank you.
Religious, kind of not giving you the truth, like not giving you the full story, but giving you little hints. I love it. So
Cryptic
cool.
bullshit. That is just here is a
Cryptic bullshit.
So was it that the pages turned into bookworms, DM, or was it the whole thing was turned into bookworms?
It's that all the pages have been eaten out a very long
eaten,
time ago by the
sure.
bookworms.
So it's just this beautiful cover with bookworms inside of it.
Sorry, Hattie, what did you roll?
20. And that
20.
question was about Elturel, yeah?
Yeah, that question was about Ezra. Okay. Okay. So in that case, lavender bubbles begin to fill the bathtub and just begin like overflowing over the top of the tub.
Hattie's gonna jump in. Get undressed first, but jump in.
grab a stool to do
Do
a,
I
Alright.
need
a
to
leaping
specify
dive.
that? With
Luckily,
no other
there's-
character would they have to specify that they take their clothes off before they get in a bath.
I am now preparing to undress. To anyone who is listening.
Well, luckily there's like some tiles in this room because they understand how terrible to clean a wood floor would be in this situation. And so water just splashes up over and Hattie gets to enjoy the copper bath that she paid so much for.
Yeah. She's gonna
Um,
start like practicing a swimming technique.
Amazing. Can't wait. Back in Trio. You all make it into the city borders as the sun begins to rise in the east. Sir Amarcos is at this point largely walking on his own power. You guys pretty much just stopped long enough for him to take back his armor and sword from City. And you all very quickly in the morning light make your way past Bethel's house to the wagon wheel. There are some people, you maybe pass one or two that are headed out into the farm fields early in the morning. No one that was close enough to the road to like question or see you or bother you about anything. And even if they did, they would recognize City and Sybil. So you guys make it into the inn. And the door opens and City says, Bill, are you here yet? That's not fucking City's voice. Sorry. Bill, are you here? God, I can't get out of Scottish.
Dude, just be Scottish. It's totally cool.
Speak as Bill for a bit. 'Cause
Bill-
I feel like the
Bill
urge
here,
to
yeah,
speak
yeah.
as Bill is
Like,
gonna.
Oh, Miss City! Oh, you're back! Oh, and Miss Sybil's here too! Oh, thank God! Oh, you're both here! Oh, I was worried I would have to run the shop all by myself today. You know, I have to say I'm sorry. While I was preparing, I maybe broke a couple glasses this morning. Oh, and also I burnt the eggs and the toast. But the bacon's fine. Mostly because I cut my thumb whenever I was trying to cut it into slices. So there's a little bit of blood on. But if you can get over that, then it's fine.
Is the bacon actually fine, or is he lying?
The bacon's back in the kitchen, and you guys are out in the tap room.
Oh, damn
Who
it.
knows if the bacon's okay?
Totally lying. It's fucked.
He's made black pudding.
Yeah.
Great. Bill, would you mind taking our guest? And she gestures to Marcos. Could you take him upstairs and get him a room? Thank you. Sybil. You should probably go upstairs as well, get some rest. Make sure that you do not leave that, and she gestures to the bucket with the skull in. Do not let that leave your sight. And those two sort of nod and like go off. Marcos goes upstairs. Sybil follows after. And City turns around, and she throws arms around both of your necks. And she says,
Okay.
"Thank you."
Well,
Welcome.
I was quite surprised how it went, actually.
The last time a plan that we made went that well was... Actually, I think that's the first time a
First
plan
time
that I was
plan.
involved with that didn't go to shit at some point.
Yeah. It's quite nice. We should do it more often, really.
Well...
Well, I cannot say how much I appreciate the fact that it did go off as well as it did. Better than I expected as well. Sybil and I, we are not out of the woods yet, but I think we have crossed the hardest bridge. And I can honestly say it would not have been possible without you both. So you have my eternal thanks. And she squeezes a little, and then she like pulls away.
It's okay. It's fine. I still have that scroll. Do you want the scroll back, or?
Keep it.
Oh, okay. Absolutely. Thank you.
Consider it part of my thanks. I do not know if I can ever truly repay you for helping to save my wife. And sorry, Marcos. We managed to save both, and that is something we're celebrating. Perhaps we can crack a bottle. And she like she goes back through the kitchen, and she's like, "Okay, Bill, I just
Oh no,
God.
Phil. Smell of burnt bacon.
Yeah, she opens the door. There's like some smoke trailing out. She's like, "Ah, God." And she just walks through, and she she goes back into the back room. And she walks back out with like an okay bottle, and she's like, "I will have to talk to Bill about what happened to our wine." Several bottles are missing.
Wait, the ones that were like locked away. Are we talking about those bottles? Or we
No, those bottles are still in place.
Okay.
She just went back to grab a bottle. Like half the shot, like 3 or 4 of the good wine bottles are just gone now.
Oh no. Oh god. But yeah, so we well, I
this will
definitely
do.
get a glass and.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Kaya will get a glass too.
A toast then.
Good job, well done.
Good job, well done.
Plans going to plan
To planning.
For once.
for once.
I didn't realize your dog was that big.
Yeah, it has this weird thing where it can change heights. It's a cool thing. I wanted to mention it to
Yes.
you, but
So, sorry, I will let you continue in just a minute. I just want to establish Finibris is actually not in the building. Finibris has been hanging out a distance away so as not to be caught in the Hallow spell.
oh
That
yeah,
is
that still...
so much cooler than some little puppy that I thought he was. Why do you always have him in that form? That's like really awesome.
Well, you know, people might judge, and it's cool. It's really awesome, but some people might not like it. Again, if it wasn't for Finibris, I think I met him in the crypt below, and somehow helped me get through. So, but yeah, maybe it's a case of people will judge it for being evil because it looks badass. You know, don't want to intimidate people. It's just
Fair
easier.
enough.
Dog-friendly places, not wolf, hellhoundish friendly places, you know?
Are enough to find inns that let pets. I mean, God.
Can I grab some, like... Can I ask for some bacon to give to Finibris? Just to give Finibris some food? I'm trying to be a good boy.
Would you like it to be cooked?
I don't think it matters. Honestly.
Okay. Yeah, she'll just... City will go back into the kitchen, and she'll just produce, like, raw strips of meat.
That's fine.
Like,
yeah.
And they're very, like, unevenly cut. And there's, like, some flecks of blood on it. She's like, I don't think we can, in good conscience, cook this for people anyway. I'll just have to get out the whole new... I'll have to get out the whole new pork belly to cut up.
Waste not, want not. And then,
Yes, please, feel free.
He would have taken it out, given it to Finibris, given him little pets and all that, because he still feels bad that he almost fucking died. And then he's going to come back in.
While
Yeah.
Seymour is gone, Kaya would ask. She's just gonna kind of like lean on the table and look at City and just kind of say, "So, have you been living here your whole life?"
I have not lived in Triel my whole life. No, I was originally born in the city of Verdask. It is a few days' ride south. If you go further south than Skernabel, it is a trading town. It is very close to where the roads branch off to Cormir, if you are familiar with the Forest Kingdom. It was a nice place, but I was looking for somewhere perhaps a little quieter, a little closer to the forest. And if I am to be perfectly honest, I have some interest in the fields of the dead and the way that magic has been changed and fluctuated in that place. And of course, I met Sybil. She is originally from Skernabel. On my way north, I met her, and we talked and we spoke, and I stayed in Skernabel for a few years with her, and I was able to convince her to live a slightly quieter life in a smaller town. But no, we do love this town. We love the people who live here. They are all kind.
What interests do you have in the field of the dead?
It is a site of many battles over the year. I do not know if you're familiar, but there have been...
Particularly.
Well, there have been many clashes in the fields of the dead. More than it is perhaps prudent to list here or try to even name. In fact, I cannot say that I know all of them myself. I know that there were conflicts with the paladins of the Red Knights against the forces of evil on the fields of the dead. There were several conflicts for people vying for land, trying to establish kingdoms in that plain. And there have been a few skirmishes that were parts of the old boundaries of Elturel that happens on the fields of the dead. Fights between... How familiar are you with the knightly orders of Elturel?
I don't know, Jenks, how familiar would Kaya be with the knightly orders of Elturel?
Let's see who you've met. So you of course know Hera, who is part of the Order of the Companions. So she is a companion of Elturel. And you're familiar with the Banite Paladins of Subar. And I don't know that you met any while you were at Fort Tamal. But if you remember way back, the blacksmith in Daggerford said that some of his ancestors belonged to a group called the Hell Riders of Elturel. You don't know if that's still like an extant organization, but those are the two big ones. Yeah.
Is it okay if Seymour comes back into the room now? Just when I can...
Yeah, so you just had to like go out to the stables behind. That's like where he's hanging out, just like trying not to scare horses, or maybe scaring horses, depending on how.
Oh no, he's gonna eat the horses.
No.
No,
Well, maybe.
Leave out Hattie and Raina.
Never
Clarification.
Get away with this, am I?
Never.
For clarification, Reina didn't eat any
sorry.
meat horse.
True.
Horse
It
meat.
was just Hattie.
Was it
It was just Hattie.
Makes it worse somehow.
Yeah, you can roll back in. It wouldn't have taken you like super long to go out there.
Yeah, I assumed.
The idea that Finibus was scaring the horses, and Seymour was just like, 1 minute, just have this. Okay, please continue.
Yo,
Go on.
It's a big boy. I ain't fucking with it.
Continue with your rampage. Sorry. We were discussing.
Knightly Orders of Elturel.
Yes. So if you are at all familiar with the Hell Riders, actually, I believe that Sir Marcos is part of that order. They were they were very long. They were very long ago the protectors of Elturel. Long before the companion came, long before the nation of Elturgard was established, they were the protectors. And it is said that they had many conflicts with the forces of the Abyss out on the fields of the dead. Some towns were lost, others saved. And it is said that sometimes they were accompanied by angels who fought on their side, the side of righteousness. But yes, that's level of magic. It has truly fucked all magic around the fields of the dead. Which, as a researcher and a scholar and someone who enjoys trying to understand the intricacies of magic, it is something that I find interesting.
How did Sybil get into this mess? It seems that it was involuntary.
You just roll up to the counter with that question. Just like, how'd your wife get involved?
As I was walking
Okay.
there, I was like, excuse me, we need to talk about this. That person who feeble-minded me.
Yes. She stole a book of mine. It was she was just trying to do what she thought was best. What she thought would protect the town. She's a very protective person. I know that perhaps you do not understand her in that way, having perhaps not had the best interactions with her, but she truly loves this town and the people here. And when the raiders from the forest came, it was beyond my power to hold the line against so many forces. They come in large groups. They attacked farms and outlying homesteads near Triel. Whenever they attacked too close, I helped some of the farmers in confronting them. We were able to turn them back, but their numbers are large. And Sybil felt the need to protect, and she felt like it was not within her power to protect against such an onslaught of people, this onslaught of raiders. She's very capable on the battlefield. On her own right, she actually is very, very impressive to watch whenever she spars. You see that she kind of gets like this smirky smile across her face. It's like she's very impressive on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
But she stole one of my books, a book that, frankly, I had no business in having. It was a book that I never intended to use. It was the book that, if my eyes did not fail me, burned as we ran from the camp. It was the one that was sitting open on the altar. I believe that it burned on our way out. I can only hope that it did. Hopefully they were not able to recover it. It was given to me by a... I found it when I was looking for some books on magic. It was part of a collection, a bargain bin sale, if you will. And looking through it, I realized that it was full of summoning rituals, which I thought would be too dangerous to attempt, but it was an interesting study, so I kept it around. She attempted one of these summoning rituals without taking the proper precautions or safety mechanisms, which is how she ended up in the situation that she was in.
Okay.
Well,
Does that
enough about
satisfy your curiosity?
enough about the past. Let's talk about the future. So
Yes.
we need to summon this demon. What exactly
Yes.
do we need to look out for? What exactly can we do in order to make sure that this is as safe as possible?
If this is still the favor you want, if this is still what your heart is set on.
And more wine. And more wine.
Understood. We will see if I can look at the missing bottles. If this is the favor that you want, we will need some time to put it together. I will need to figure out what to do with that skull. I need to figure out how to make sure that Sybil is as safe as she possibly can be. Do whatever I can to ensure her safety going forward, understanding that the thing that we have temporarily thwarted is perhaps an incredibly powerful being, and there's only so much I can do, but I have some friends that I may be able to contact for that. My problem, not yours. If we are to do this, we will need a binder, which is a position that I can fill. It is something that I have studied. I have tried before. We will need a summoner, which may be one of you. And we will need... we will also need a barrier. Someone who can cast a magic circle to contain the thing once you summon it. So it will be a job of 3 people. The largest danger will be to whoever the summoner is. I will have to double check. Of course, the one book that would be the greatest resource for me was burnt.
Of course.
That is probably for the best, but I can probably put the shards of the spell together based on the books that I still have. I'm sure it is just an alteration of a summoning of a different being. The danger will be that a summoning of a creature from the abyss will require blood. And it will have to be the blood of the summoner.
Would it help if we knew the demon's name?
Yes, it would. It would hopefully allow us to call the demon directly. It depends on the strength of the demon. A lot of texts on binding will they will caution a binder that there are some powerful beings in this universe who cannot be controlled by a simple spell. As long as the demon is not a powerful one, a name will help us to bind it more easily.
I don't think we have a name. It's definitely not Snipe.
I think I might have it.
What do you mean?
Snipe sent me a message, I think yesterday. I can't keep the timeline straight anymore.
I've missed a few days anyway, so don't worry about me.
I
Yeah, it was
think
like
they
sometime
gave me the
yesterday.
name. We shouldn't rely on it too much just in case it isn't the right name or it means something else and I've misinterpreted their message.
Would Snipe know the name? I mean, if you're with someone for such a long time...
I mean, it is Snipe, right? It's half of them.
That's true.
I think that if this demon is half of another person, I think that the greatest danger in summoning the demon would be to the other half of the person.
How so?
If two beings are so connected to each other that they are two halves of a whole, then the name does not apply to one or the other. If you call the name of one thing, you are calling the name of its pair.
We could summon Snipe here? That's perfect, right? Then we can at least...
I do not know if that will be the effect. I do not know if it will call them. I do not know if it will bind them. I do not know what would happen.
I mean, we can't be doing this without Snipe's consent.
Yes, Snipe's already given me that much.
Oh.
At least.
Okay.
I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen? What's the worst outcome?
The worst outcome. When a thing is binded, and we will also need a token, now that I think of it, we will also need something to bind it to. When a thing is bound, it becomes linked to an object. There is no magic known to folks that is capable of binding a thing forever. I can bind something for 30 days, a month. I can bind a thing. When I bind it, the worst case scenario is that the other half, this friend of yours, this Snipe, will also be bound to the object. Which means that...
Is there a manual way to free something from a binding? Like to break it or to cast another spell?
There are ways to break bindings, but you asked me for worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is that these two halves are so linked to each other that if you try to break the binding on your friend, it will also break the binding on the demon you are trying to bind. I cannot know what the end result will be until it is done.
Would the object count as Snipe? Would Snipe count as the object? Because
No, we've already discussed that we can't bind it to a creature. We can only bind it to an object.
I do not know any magic that can link a bound entity to a living being. I do not know that magic.
It's understandable.
I feel like this is... Like, do we have any other choice here? I mean, I feel it's better for Snipe to be bound than to be dead. in the worst
Well-
case scenario, which we don't even know if that's going to happen. We should ask them. I can send them another message before we do it. But
There is a potential second option. But it depends on do they want to maintain the link that they have with this other entity?
I think so. They said they wanted to be reunited.
But is that from circumstance because we feel like we're going to die without it? Or is it that... Is it so they
Well-
can survive, or is it because it's them? You see my point? It's not a case of I want to be with this thing because it's part of me. It's I need to be with this thing because I'm going to die otherwise.
Well, and that is why I bring up a second option. Something that is, I know, within my power to do. Through my friends that I mentioned earlier. If it is simply a case of they will die without this other half of themselves, if they are willing, and provided I have the chance to examine your friend beforehand to see if it will actually work, if I am capable of casting this spell on them, there is a way that I can break the link, and they will not have to worry about dying.
That's perfect.
We don't know if that's perfect. We need to ask them first.
Of course.
Ask them how they would feel about reincarnation.
I'm gonna call the break there.
Oh, shit.
What the fuck?
They reincarnate? That'd be sick.
Oh my god.
What would they reincarnate as? Would they be like, oh,
It's
I want to
It's
be
a
random.
random roll.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
Random.
random
You
roll.
can't decide. It could be
No.
anything.
They can be born anything.
I have some thoughts.
Fuck.
Oh, fuck.
You roll into the Minotaur. Shit.
Oh, Jesus Christ, no.
Yes. Fucking yes. Reincarnate.
This is just gonna be us messing up all over again.
Mm.
No.
Well, we could still go with option one. That's still not the. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what Snipe wants to do.
Let's see what Snipe wants to do.
I don't know what I want to do. Is the
No.
issue.
You're so fun. Alright, guys. 10 minutes.
All right,
Yeah.
10 minutes. Sounds good.
guys can be heard.
Hey.
Oh no!
Everyone back.
Killer.
Welcome back, everyone, to After the Break. Just before the break, reincarnation was on the table, and that's all I have to say. So let's go to Skirnabel. Let's go to Skirnabel and check in with what Snipe and Reyna are up to. And also, well, no, Hattie's, I'm pretty sure, enjoying the cover bathtub to its fullest extent and practicing her swimming skills. You can do laps, too. I mean, it's a big tub. Like, they're really small laps. You're getting one stroke each way, but I mean...
I imagine
That's
her curly
iconic.
hair is blending in with the mountains of bubble bath that's around her.
It's just ridiculous. I love it.
Do I get extra points if there's now, like, do I get an advantage on any swimming kind of challenges that we end up doing?
Swimming challenges?
Yeah, like if someone falls in the water, can I get like advantage on like saving people from
Does he get XP?
drowning?
Do
I
you
thought
know
Hattie can't swim. Wasn't that established?
Hattie
at
can't
some point?
swim.
Hattie can't swim.
Yeah.
That was
She's
just
She's
trying
not-
trying
to
to
learn.
swim.
So without you won't get
So
disadvantage.
this might actually be
She's
a
got
just
inflatable
trying not to
arm
drown
rings.
situation.
If Michael Phelps ever watches this, I apologize about the amount of years it took you to get good at swimming, where Hattie's just doing it in a bathtub for 1 hour, maybe,
Look,
max.
everyone has to start somewhere.
You're gonna come out
Yeah,
like a
because the thing
prune.
is, she doesn't have like.
When
any
Hattie
skills in
says
swimming.
swimming, she means she's moving her arms like this, but because her legs can just reach the bottom of the tank, she's walking. Like, as
Yeah, I
she's
mean,
swimming.
your eyes are still above water. Yeah, I can't imagine
Yeah.
that you filled this tub all the way up to the rim. So, no, you're doing fine.
She'd be so daring.
I'll tell you what, Hattie.
Or at least, can I know how to swim or be more confident
Yeah, okay.
in water?
I'm not going to give you learn how to swim out of I'm taking a bath. Those two things are not equivalent. They are
Achievements.
very
You
different
know how to
things.
swim now.
Here's what I will do. Roll me a D8, Hattie.
What a D8.
A D8.
6.
6. You get 6 temporary hit points from this soothing lavender bath.
Oh,
Yeah. Don't know how to swim still. But boy.
It's filled
Hell
with
yeah.
determination.
it's so like wonderful. I know I'm
Yeah.
gonna sit in this bath for a bit and maybe paddle, and I'll learn how to swim.
I've contacted a god for the first time, you know.
You feeling cocky?
Today
Life's
was a
good for
good
Hattie.
day. Yeah. Great day. Okay, so that's what Hattie's up to for a while. Raina and Snipe, what are you guys up to?
I think at this point, on giving the pin back to Hattie, Snipe would have also just like gone out the amulets again and just laid them out on the bed and just like had a damn good look at them, especially the pieces of like the labyrinth amulet that broke.
Sure. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Just if anything stands out, like, because I'm not sure what's going to happen. Well, Snipe's not sure what's going to happen, so they're cautious as to like whether to take just the broken amulet or all of the amulets with them, in case.
Raina will sit down next to them, open her notebook, and just scribble down little things that come to her mind, and just help observe.
Yeah, so you have the cloak pin with the dagger through, the glass terrarium full of fungus, the bracelet made of the torn woven linen, the earring of worked bone, the brass knuckles that have the glaze of ice over them, a fragment of a mask, like the corner of a smile from an alabaster mask, the broken maze pendant, the blurred sketch that looks like it got like acid or water or something thrown on it, and the gold tooth that you got from the goblin shaman. And Arthur like also slinks out, not out of the pendant bag because that's not where he likes to hang out, but
No.
he'll also just like slink out onto the bed and just like stretch out stoat style. Fluff up the pillow by bouncing on it a little.
Yeah. Do I know you can't really speak for all of them because there's a lot of them, but do I recall like the majority of the amulets that I have being like sought for, like someone was looking for them, like before I had found them.
You tell me. Did you learn about any of these because someone else was seeking them and you found them first? We know that the maze pin you just kind of like stumbled across. But I don't know, how many of them did you just like stumble across and find, and how many of them did you like actively steal from people, and how many of them did you like just happen to get there first?
I'd say about all but 3 of them I would have stumbled across just like randomly and thought they were just like interesting trinkets as like a hooray, you got through this very strange area prize. I'd say 3 of them were caught because I was either like hypothetically racing someone to get to it first before they could. And with those 3 in particular, I'm not sure, maybe I'll decide which ones. Those are the only ones where when messing with people, I don't like slip into people's pockets randomly. Because Snipe has this thing where like sometimes if they're robbing someone, sometimes they'd slip an amulet in, see how long it lasts just to see what would happen, and then go and retrieve them. With those 3 particular ones that were like sought for, they don't dare take them out of the bag unless just like here where they're observing them.
Can I throw out some suggestions for you?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the 3 that you wouldn't slip to other people, one of them is the earring of worked bone, which you know was pursued by a man, a necromancer, interested in undeath. The other was the fragment of the alabaster mask, which you know was sought after by a woman who was an oathbreaker and a fallen paladin. And the other that you would never slip to another person is the bracelet of torn and woven linen. And you don't know who was after it, but you know that they were dangerous and that an entire village is dead because of them. And you only caught a glimpse of them once. And it was 5 people, and all of them were wearing veils, so you couldn't see their faces.
Okay.
The last one that I'll add a note about is the cloak pin itself, the one that you got, which you slipped into the pocket of one of the elves back in the Misty Forest. You don't remember how you got it, but it was one of the first things that you had 10 years ago. Whenever you arrived in kind of a blurry haze and you escaped whatever situation you arrived to, and you kind of like a few weeks later sort of really got your bearings and sort of organized your stuff, the cloak pin was one of the things that you had.
But I had on me, like.
Yeah, like you didn't have it on you in your world.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like there was like a blur of sights and sounds whenever you arrived. There was like colors and chanting and all sorts of things. And you just like trashed a room and booked it. And you were just kind of trying to get your bearings in this like suddenly weird new world in which you found yourself. And whenever you kind of took a moment to sort of organize yourself, see what you had to work with, what are your resources and all that, in like your pockets or in your money bag, or like as you were trying to pull everything out, one of the things that you pulled out was this cloak pin. Like it was just in the things that you had on you.
Oh, so I'm not sure whether I took it or whether it was placed on me.
Yeah, you don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I just kind of look over the amulets and just like slightly glance at Raina and see if like she's looking over them as well.
They haven't really changed. They still unsettle me though.
That settled me as well. And the reason I have these is because I don't know what they are, but I know there are people in this world who do know what they are and want to use them. And it'd be better for everyone if they didn't have them.
Some people want to have them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I feel like they're connected to deities, creatures that people are interested in to work with.
I'm not sure what I'm going to be facing down there, and I don't know if this entire process is going to kill me or leave me a completely different person from who I was. But I kind of need your help. It just shocked me that first time in a very long while, I'm actually asking for help.
I'll be there. You didn't need to ask, but I'll be there.
No, it's a bit more than that. I don't know if I did something or if this is just something not to worry about, but I'm scared that I'll fail and what will happen if I do. More specifically, what the other half of me will do. So I kind of threw it out there to some god, whoever was listening, that if I was to fail getting me back, they would kill the other half of me. So no one would be able to, use the other half of me for evil ways. I'm not sure if that's possible, and I'm not sure who heard it or if anyone heard it, but I guess I kind of threw it out there because I wanted to force myself to do this.
Yeah.
Kind of give me something to actually fight for. I need to do this. And I have to succeed in some way. But if I don't, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
If I fail and I die, put my body in a river. Any river, doesn't matter which one. Any one that leads to the sea. I doubt I'll get back to who I want to be with. But maybe it will send something out to her that I failed and she should let go.
Yeah. I'll do that. But I don't think we'll fail. I think we'll find a way out of here.
I hope so.
If I may ask you, when do you think you'll fail? What is the sign for you that you failed?
Probably when the other half of me can't reach out to me.
Well, to be blunt, then you already failed.
There's always a pocket. There's always a chance that they can get out, that they can reach out.
Mm-hmm.
It's if they want to and they can't because someone's stopping them, that I know I failed.
And do you think that if someone's stopping them to reach out, you can't stop that person who is stopping them? That's also a possibility. I believe there are so many chances you can have to fix this. There's so many options you can go down, so many routes, so many ways you can achieve this goal of getting them back and getting back home. That if you failed one, you should try another.
I know, but I don't know them all. Can't really see any options. I mean, if someone else has another option I can get out of this, I'll gladly hear through it.
Raina, can you do me a favor? Roll me a religion check or an insight. I'll let you choose.
Okay. It's again +7, so that's 25, but does it matter which one I choose?
It's just going to be how you process the information, that's all.
Insight, then.
Insight. Walking up to a pool and just saying to anyone who's listening, destroy me if I don't connect to my other half, without any kind of timetable attached to that, that's probably dangerous.
Yeah. Snipe? I hope we'll succeed. I think we'll succeed. But if we don't, I'll make sure the mess gets cleaned up.
Thanks.
Back in Trio.
So about reincarnating that dead body.
Reincarnation. Yeah, we left off at reincarnation. So it's probably fair that you guys have some questions about that. So I will give you guys this time to ask City any questions you have. Or if you have no questions, we can continue on with other things happening in Trio.
Wait, what does reincarnation mean? Like killing them? Bring them back?
It correct me if I am wrong, but my understanding, based on what you have said to me, is that your friend Snipe, their physical body is dying. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So, reincarnation can take the dying and give them a new life. They are still themselves. It is still the same soul. It is
It's personal. It's like a permanent disguised self.
It is like this. Yes, it is in that vein. She runs off behind the counter, and she comes back and she sets a wooden box up on the counter. She opens it, and she pulls out a spool of thread and a needle. And she takes the needle and she says, "This is a piece of thread, yes?"
Yes.
And she holds up the needle and she says, "The eye of this needle, it is a physical death." And she passes the thread through the needle, and when it comes out the other side, it's a different color.
Ah, so cool.
And she pulls on it, and you see the thread on the other side still moves as she pulls. She says, "It is the same thread. But when it passes through the eye, it is different, but the same."
Right, okay. And that would sever their connection with their demon?
I do not know, because I do not understand if this connection is a physical one or a spiritual one.
So it might be completely useless if it's a spiritual one.
Is their body dying because they are separated from it? Is their body dying for reasons that are magical?
Yeah, their body is dying because the demon has been separated from it. But what if it's both a physical and a spiritual connection?
The spiritual connection may be severed by the reincarnation spell, because they are physically becoming a new whole person.
So it's a body connection. That makes sense. You're changing the body.
Right, okay.
That does make
Yes,
sense.
if the purpose of the demon lingered in that physical form, then when the physical form changes, the connection is severed.
That makes sense.
Right. But if it's more than that, then the connection might not be severed. But Snipe would stop dying?
If there is no magical cause behind the death, if it is simply that the body has worn out, then yes, it should stop the dying.
Okay. We should ask them.
We should.
All right. Kaya will take a couple of seconds to think. And then they're going to cast Sending to Snipe. 2 options. We bind your demon, but you might get bound with it, or permanently sever your demonic connection. Potentially, you get a new body. That's 25 words.
Okay.
Potentially, you might get a new body.
We don't really know what we're doing.
Might.
Making it up as we go.
I love the idea that we reincarnate, but like, so if Snipe dies, Marina's gonna walk to the river, put the body in the river. We arrive, and go wait, and we have to run after the body and like try and reincarnate it while it's floating. Would be the best.
Good lord.
Or it just gets stuck in some logs as a dam in the river. Oh no, Snipe.
Face down.
Woof.
Oh dearie me.
All I need is a pound of flesh.
What?
Pound of flesh.
Pound of flesh.
Right, okay. I suppose we can make preparations, but we shouldn't do anything until I get a message back. Which should be any second now.
I do have a question.
Yes.
I don't know if this is in your capability at all, but
Yes.
what if I'm assuming you're going to be staying here. So I was wondering if we continue our journey and meet up with our party, and Snipe it goes wrong, basically. Snipe does pass. Could we find a way to teleport here and then use the reincarnate as a backup plan?
I do not maintain a circle in Trio.
It's more the case of are you capable of creating one?
It takes like a year to create a permanent one.
Oh, does it really?
Yes,
Okay,
I do not have a permanent
Someone
circle.
doesn't know.
It was never something that was necessary for me, so I never it takes a lot of effort. and time.
Understandable.
What I need to do now is take care of leftover problems here in Tria.
Of course.
I need to speak with Sir Marcos and make sure that the red-haired woman that kidnapped him on the road, becomes a dark-haired man that kidnapped him on the road. That is what I'm going to do right now. And then I have to see with my friends what I can do to secure Sybil. When those things are done, when I am certain that they are safe, then it would not be out of my capabilities to travel.
Okay.
But I need to do that first.
Is there a timeline between the death and when we can or cannot do it? It's 10 days. It's, by the way, Janks, just to speed things up for you.
But ideally, if it is a choice that your friend makes, there will be no time. I will have to ask my friends to see how long the wait is. How long after a death I can perform the spell.
Okay.
So if our friend decides to do that option, we should bring them here.
Bring them here or send word to me.
Okay. And if they decide to do the first option, we could do that here, like right now, before we leave.
Yes, we can do that. Let us say tomorrow.
That's
Okay.
more than fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what the other people are doing. I don't know what the other party are doing. I'm sure they're not just... Where
Oh
are
yeah,
they?
there's somehow they're like all the way in Scornabel, right?
Oh.
Are they in Scornabel?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well...
Yeah, they were behind us, and then now they're in front of us. I don't know how that
I'm
happened.
not even going to think about it. We were ahead of them, then they were ahead of us.
We skipped a couple days.
Yeah, I don't know anymore, but I'm assuming they're doing something in Scornapel.
Yeah, probably trying to... I mean, why wouldn't they just be waiting for us? We're trying to get to Elturel, right? I mean, maybe they already took a boat and they're heading there right now.
They don't seem the type to wait around.
Hattie
true.
blowing bubbles in a bubble bath.
I did tell Snipe to come here as quickly as possible, and then they told us that they were waiting in Scornabel, so...
City, who has moved out from behind the counter and is headed up the stairs, she says, if you're headed to Skernabel, perhaps you can take Sir Marcos with you. I think he requires more treatment than I'm able to give him here.
Of course.
You can take him to the Cloister of the Dew. They are a well-respected institution. And she'll march up the stairs.
Simon's going to turn to Kai and go, he was... Wait, I didn't hear the Hellriders thing, did I? Was I there when you mentioned Hellriders? Or Kaya did, right?
Kaya did.
Oh, okay, I'm out. I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
How many more fucking stragglers are we gonna have to babysit on our way to Elturel?
I don't know. I mean, at least they're not going to get punched straight away. So that's
True.
okay. We're like the least trustworthy, but the most trustworthy in a sense for that kind of thing.
At least that was entertaining. Now I have to look at, what, a 2-3 day journey of just... whatever.
He's a very good talker.
Oh, apparently he was also
Stories.
part of the Hell Riders. Wasn't that something that we talked about in Daggerford? I can't remember.
There was and like Simon was like, oh shit, kind of.
You're right.
All
Steve?
the red threads are connecting
Yeah.
on the board.
I mean, can you remember the prophecies or anything? The story of the Hell Riders?
No, I don't keep track of that shit.
Can I roll to see if I remember, please, DM?
Yeah, roll me a history check.
I was like looking through this book, but I realized this is not.
Yeah, I don't have it either.
It's not got from that point. What is my history? Is it history, Janks?
Yeah, roll me a history.
Natural 1, baby.
Yay!
3.
It was a
probably
long
not
time ago.
important.
It was a hag, a ghost dragon, and a vampire ago,
It's
man.
been a
Who
hell.
knows?
It's been 3 weeks of hell.
Yeah.
I remember there was a. Why don't we just ask him? if he's part of the Hell Riders, let's just talk to him about it. He likes talking. I'm sure he loves to talk about him and what he does. I'm sure he loves it.
Mm-hmm. All right. I don't think is it even important? So he's part of some protection. Like, there's so many. So he's part of some knightly order of Elturel. Who really cares?
Yeah, that's true. I honestly, I feel like he's one of those people who will bring it up anyway because he likes talking about himself.
So then we have that to look forward to on our journey.
We do. That's fine. That's okay. It'll be fun. People talk too much.
Back in Skirnabel.
Yeah.
Hattie, freshly dressed in her gi, opens up the door, feeling incredibly refreshed about the day.
Her hair is a mess.
Her hair is a mess. Just like wet and also floofy all over the place.
Wet poodle
Artius
energy.
is what?
Wet poodle.
Wet poodle energy, yes. Yeah. Artius's door is there. Hailra's door is there. Raina's door is there. And there's the tap room.
I'm gonna go talk to Artius. I'm gonna go knock on his door.
Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah, so you go knock on his door. Yeah, he'll open the door a crack. Say, Hattie.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
By the way, I brought the book from The Lonely Tower with me.
Okay.
How'd
bartending go?
Like, surprisingly well.
Good.
I have a question.
Yeah, I figured you would. What's up?
Am I really that predictable?
You just like to ask a lot of questions. And he
Just
kind of
ask
like
the
looks
question.
over his shoulder and he's like, yeah, come on in. And he opens up the door. It's a room, kind of like yours. He's like got some stuff laid out. He's got his sword sitting out up against a wall. It looks like he was just like working on it or something. What's up?
So, I had some questions, not for you,
Okay.
but for like just general questions about like, you know, what we're doing here, where we're going, what's going to happen in Elturel, etc., etc.
Okay.
So I figured, you know, I'd drop by and have a little chat with Orgma. And I kind of got a response, I think.
Okay. That sounds cool. I didn't realize that you followed a god. Is this a new development for you?
Yeah, I don't really follow a god, but I appreciate the aesthetic, you know?
Sure. Everybody gets into it for the aesthetic. So what was the response?
It's kind of hard to explain. And I open the page and I hand over the book with the description of like the vision that she had, or like the memory that was brought forward. But I'm not really like, you know, versed in the whole god thing, so I don't really know what it means. But it's fun, right?
Yeah. If you're a fan of bookworms, I guess.
Is this like one of the things that I was the people have been telling me to like read between the lines and not everything is in plain text? You know, like that one time that we had like a guest over at Candlekeep, and people were saying like really like normal things to me, and I was meant to understand that like it meant go away, leave us alone, and stop messing around in the library and flying around on the discs.
Yes. Yeah, I think that this may be in that vein. I'm sorry, you flew around on discs?
Oh, you know, like in the in Candlekeep in the library, because like the bookshelves are so tall, they have like these flyy disky things that you step on, and they go and take you to different parts of the bookshelves that you need to get to. However, I'm friends with some of the guys that gives like tours and stuff. I don't know, the guides that we have at Candlekeep, and sometimes we play like bumper carts on them. And I was just practicing because I've been doing really badly recently, and I didn't want to like lose again, and I didn't want to have to do their laundry for like a third week running. So I figured I could get some practice in. But it turns out there was like this really magical person with fancy long robes coming. So everyone was like, "Oh, Hattie, funny seeing you here." And I was meant to understand that meant I needed to be like, it wasn't funny that I was there, and it wasn't a good joke, and I should have just left. But I know that now.
Wait, hold on. Was this person in long robes? Did she have like long gray hair? Like long white robes?
Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah.
I've heard this story. If it makes you feel any better, she thought it was hilarious.
People tell stories about me. That's so cool.
Well, she told a story about a red-haired monk who thought it was funny to play bumper cars with the floating disc, which she found entertaining. I mean, you didn't hit her, so like.
I thought I had quite good control that day.
Yeah.
Who is she?
My cousin.
Who is your cousin? That's like even more vague than just giving me the description that I gave you about the person.
Laurel. Her name is Laurel.
That's nice. Why is she so fancy?
Because Look, Hattie, I appreciate that you're suddenly interested in my family and who they are, but it's...
You were providing information. What was I meant to do? Say, ooh, F your family.
No,
interpret
it's fair.
my dream.
It's really nice of you to want to be involved. It's just that my family is a very complicated bunch of people.
Okay, if I ever see her again, I'm going to say that you were really mean to me, and that you were like super rude, and you stole money from me, and that the hammer at your inn tried to kill me.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you can tell her that if you ever run into her. She'll probably get a kick out of that. So, what is it that you want to talk about, Hattie, this dream?
That didn't really have the intended effect. Anyway, the question was, what does that mean? Like, were they magic bookworms? Are they going to be just massive bookworms in Elturel that we have to fight? Or do we have to go save the library?
Hattie, I think that this was a metaphor. like Elturel is the book, and then the bookworms are eating it from the inside.
So we need to get some of that anti-bookworm powder?
Okay, no, I don't think that the bookworms are actually bookworms, Hattie. I think that what your dream is saying is that there are people inside of Elturel who are destroying Elturel.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Are we looking for someone with bookworm in their name? Because I know someone who has like a similar... I'm taking this too literally, aren't I?
Yeah, I don't think that their name is going to be Bookworm. I don't think that it's going to be that clear.
Okay, well, this has been fun. I'm thrilled that there are stories of me going around playing bumper carts with the discs at Candlekeep. I want you to know that I am better than I was before. I have practiced a lot more, and I won at least 4 times in a row before I left Candlekeep. So I don't know how I will be when I return. However, I believe my skill set will have increased with my valiant fighting and dragon riding.
I'll tell you what, if I'm ever at Candlekeep
Yeah.
and we ever find ourselves in a situation to play bumper discs, I will for sure go up against you.
You will?
Yes.
Yay! Okay, I have to warn you, we have to do it kind of in the dark because the librarians aren't really down with the kids.
Aren't you the librarians?
Well,
Okay.
it's kind of like I was doing fine until I looked down, just like 3 people head in their hands. Well, here's the thing. It's like there are librarians, and then there are the librarians. And I'm just like a librarian by title only.
Okay, so you're
Also
not one
more
of
of
the
an
cool,
acquisitionist,
like
but
the
that's-
librarians.
Yeah.
So you're
Like
you're like wait, hold on, no. You're an acquisitionist, so you're like the librarians,
Yeah.
and you're not the librarians.
Yeah. You get it. You get it.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I got some letters to write.
Oh, okay.
Not to seem rude, I truly do find how you handle a conversation fascinating, Hattie. I just need to write letters right now.
Is that another one of the things where they're like, oh, it's funny to see you in the library, Hattie, and like they just want me to leave?
Yes, I do want you to leave. No, I am not being facetious. I do actually enjoy the way that you handle conversations.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, bye. No,
Bye.
I'm just gonna wander out and go and see Rainer and Snipe.
All right. Rain and Snipe, what are you guys up to? It's getting to evening. Like, it's getting into, like, the darkness now.
Snipe, you said you talked into a lake, like a little pond. When you set out, like, into the world that if you failed, the other half must be killed, basically. You did that at like a pond or a place with water?
I mean, it was they called it a reflecting pool. It was in one of the rose gardens that was back in Subar. Not
That's
sure if
right.
It's official.
Sorry, I forgot that Raina didn't actually go there. But you would still know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
This is very unusual, but I might have another idea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if do you remember when we were in the Misty Forest and we slept in that like glaive area? The glaive? Enclave?
The one with the pool with like the thorn tree and the oak tree and that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That day that evening, that night actually, I met a goddess, the one that helped me in at Borsker Bridge. Her name's Eldaf, and she's a goddess. She's an elven goddess, and she is her symbol is reflection and water, still water.
Oh.
I don't know if she would answer such a prayer or such a thing like you said, but I could see if I could reach out and see if she knows anything about it.
I mean, If my message was heard, I'd like to know if it was.
It could be a totally different god or goddess or deity. But I could try.
You think it'll work?
Okay. And Raina will make her way to the bathroom and start filling up the tub.
Okay. Hattie bursts through the door.
Guys, I have a god now.
Oh, another one.
What?
Don't worry about it. What are we gonna save Snipe now?
You were going to do some paperwork, you said.
Yeah, you know, paperwork turns into getting gods. You know how it is.
Okay. Well, I hope you had a nice talk.
I did. I had a bath. I didn't drown.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Do you want to know about the entire debacle, or is this like because there was like a mood in here when I like kind of burst in.
It might just be.
Hattie is interrupting a funeral. Hattie is interrupting what is essentially the vibe of a funeral.
Yeah. I just kind of point at the amulets and say, it might be all these. And then I pick up the golden tooth thing because I know that Hattie had it on them and it accidentally fell into the pile.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of hold it and just say, where did you get this?
I don't really remember.
I believe from where we killed those goblins. The shaman?
Sure.
I believe.
This is why I don't have things, because I always lose track of where I got them from. Like, I don't remember where most of these buttons come from. So...
A beetle scuttles past Hattie's shoulder, completely unnoticed by Hattie.
I believe that golden tooth came from the shaman we killed, and the one that gave us the prophecy.
So it's mine now?
No.
Well, I have it on me right now. I just kind of inspect it for a bit and like, do I get any vibe off of it? I have no idea.
Vibe check.
Yeah, do me an insight check.
Vibe check.
Is that all?
Do me a vibe check.
Nice.
Vibe check.
Oh fuck math. 23.
You're adding a small
3?
number to another small number, so
I know.
Still, math.
I can't do double digits.
You... Have you ever really been angry, but in a situation where you can't show it?
Yes.
So like in the back of your mind, you're seething, but you're like, no, sir, customer. I don't know the answer to your screaming question.
Yes.
That is the vibe that you get off of this tooth. Like, it is a shining golden face that is hiding a lot of anger underneath of it.
I just kind of glance at Hattie and just think, maybe later, not now.
fine. I won't tell you how I befriended a god.
I don't care.
Yeah. Do me a favor and roll me a religion check.
$11.
Okay. In that case, the tub is full. How do you want to try to contact Eldath?
When the tub is full, I'll walk back to the room and reach into my backpack and take out the vial I took from the temple with a bit of water. and I'll go to the tub and I'll untie my hair and basically lean my head over the tub and pour a bit of water over my head from the vial and sit back up and start meditating with the vial in my hand.
Roll me an insight check.
I do love the idea of that. As long as it's still water, it could be anything. So like a puddle, like a dirty puddle could be like, that's Elder. Awesome, let's go.
17.
17. What is it that you are trying to discern in your meditation?
I'm trying to see if there's a connection between Eldaf and Snipe.
Okay. So you meditate on this thought. Is there a connection between these things? And you see a strand of silk drawn between Snipe and the symbol of Eldath. And then another strand of silk that goes off to another symbol. And then another strand of silk coming off Snipe to another symbol. And another, and another, and another. And it forms this pattern of webbing that just snakes out from Snipe and Eldath. And a voice says, "If you want to ask a god a question, you can just ask me, the goddess of peace. She knows nothing."
Noted. I'll get back out of my meditation and I'll pour half of the vial into the bathtub and put the cork on it again and walk back to Snipe and Hattie.
Look, all I'm saying is that it's a really good story and I have many informations now. Therefore, I think you should give me the tooth.
Not yet, anyway.
Okay, so back in Trio.
Oh.
The day is passing. What are you guys doing during the day?
I don't know. Like, Seymour's sort of waiting for... I'm assuming Kaya mentioned that they did a sending spell, because I don't think Seymour's ever seen you do that. So I'm guessing that's what was established.
Okay, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Both of you roll me perception checks.
What?
Okay. I think that's a -2 to mine. Yes. 8.
8, amazing.
That's right, dude.
What the fuck is my perception bonus? +3. So that's a 16.
16, okay. Yeah, Seymour, as you're kind of just sort of hanging out in the tavern for the day, you go out to visit Finibris in the stables. And one time, whenever you walk out, you see dear sweet Bethel working in her front yard.
Oh, no.
And she just like waves at you and smiles and then just like goes back to tending her garden.
Does she wink? Does she wink a tiny bit, or is it like...
She doesn't wink, she just
Okay.
smiles.
Seymour does a wink.
Raise
Then-
eyebrows.
Seymour does a wink. Definitely.
Okay, yeah, he winks over. And you like turn around and Bill is coming back from the town well with Buckle Water saying, "What was that about?"
What do you mean?
You just wink at Bethel.
Oh, yes.
What
Why?
was that? First you stab the woman, and then she's all passed out and swooning upstairs, and then now you're winking at her. Leave the poor woman alone.
I did not stab a single person. I will say that right now. Winking is just...
You need to have some propriety, sir. Poor old Bethel, she's 85. She's just trying to take care of a vegetable patch. You're out of here.
It was like a 16-year-old boy, like...
I've been there, don't worry. I've been there before. Well, I'm sorry. Is she related to you?
As you should be.
Wait, is she related to you? Is she grandma? It's just you just look after her. What?
She's my godmother.
Oh, okay, I understand now.
She's everybody's godmother.
Oh.
She's the sweetest old lady in town, and you need to leave her alone.
I was just being nice.
Bright purple.
That's all. Like pinky purple going on here. Well, I couldn't think of anything else. I'm sorry.
You just keep your sword to yourself in the future.
Absolutely. How's your hand, by the way? Is it still? It looks a bit infected.
It's fine. I've got the gangrene before. Beat it once, I can beat it again.
I see you got like one finger gone, and that's how he. Oh.
No, he's not missing any fingers, but he's just like,
yeah, it's for an ex-leper.
Oh, well.
I miss my little toe every so often. It's fine.
Oh, it depends. If it's middle toe, you're usually okay. It's big toe and little toe you got to look out for. They're the ones that set you off balance. And anyway,
I'll just stick a kernel of corn in there. That kind of like sets it right.
You're a smart boy. It's impressive.
Thank you. I've never had that said to me ever in my life.
Oh, I don't know why. I can tell you're wonderful, very skilled. What are you doing?
Right.
Where are you going? What are you doing now?
I'm getting water. Can you not see the bucket?
Oh, and he looks in it to see if there's blood in it, dripping from his hand.
There's not blood dripping from his hand. It's just well water, but yeah.
Okay.
It's actually the skull.
Goes in there somehow.
bucket.
Well,
Right.
is there anything you need me to help you with? I can obviously help Grandma, of course. I mean,
No, I'll help
Why?
Bethel if she needs help. If you want to help, you can go like look after your dog in the stables. He's been eyeing up all the horses and also the skittish. I need you to take care of that problem.
Oh.
You're gonna help with something.
Oh, okay, sure. Okay, cheerio. Bye.
All right.
Bye. And,
All right.
and like he does run like a little pace because he thinks, oh yeah, it's been a while since he had bacon, so he's like getting a little bit worried about his horses now.
Right. Amazing.
Best character in
Kaya.
my opinion, by the way. Just want to say.
Feels great. Yeah, Kaya, while you're working your way around, so you're probably mostly hanging out in the tap room, but every so often you just like go up to your room, like whatever. Over the course of the day, you see early in the morning, not too long after City leaves you go upstairs. Your room is kind of like toward the end of the hall, so you pass by her. She is currently she's standing over a sleeping Sir Marcos with like a silver string, and she's just like reweaving it like next to him. And she just like looks up as you pass by, and she's like, "Hey,
Hey. What are you doing? Are you just knitting or?
no, it's just a very simple it's a." Are you fine with this? Do you mind? Is this weird for you? It's a modify memory spell. It just
Is your voice okay? Do you need like a glass of water or?
Oh right, I
It's
forgot.
going all over the place.
It's just a modify memory. Memory? God damn it!
Dude, you've been on point with your other character. Don't worry about it, dude. It's been perfect.
It's
just-
really
it's
funny.
a well-known
Modify
fact
memory?
that Russian and Glaswegian just like that you can't tell the difference sometimes.
It is just a modify memory spell.
Right.
It's just he will recognize. You won't tell. You won't say anything to him, will you? Whenever he wakes up.
Sure, I'll keep the secret. Actually, I wanted to talk to you about something concerning.
Yes, and she just like jams the silver strings back into his head. They just like retract. She's like, what's up?
It's just I need you to understand something concerning Snipe and this whole thing. I'm really happy that you're helping us with this, but
Okay.
I want to make sure that you will do everything in your power to help us save Snipe. Even if it means potentially doing some weird things like setting, a demon loose, potentially. It's really important for us to save them.
I can understand that this person means a lot to you. Doing what it is that you want to do, summoning a demon, it is a dangerous proposition.
I understand that. All I'm trying to establish is that you will do everything in your power to save them. And if it doesn't work, that's perfectly fine. We will thank you for your help either way. But if you don't do everything in your power and it doesn't work, I wouldn't be able to forgive you for that.
Take a walk with me. And City will brush past you and she'll go down the hall. And at the end of the hall, there's a door and she takes out a key and she unlocks it. And whenever she opens the door, you see that there is like a master bedroom suite, basically. There's like a little sitting area. There's a couch. There's a couple doors that like lead off of the room. And she walks over, she leads you across the room to one of these doors and she opens it and there's a bed. And Sybil is sleeping on the bed. And next to her is this bucket with a skull in it. And City says, if that bucket is my wife's life right now. If I take it away from her, I have no idea what will happen. She could die immediately. There is no good that comes from what it is that you are proposing.
Your wife, she was very close to doing something very wrong. Not just that she attacked us in the forest, she nearly killed Sir whatever his name was, Marcus. But despite all of that, we still helped you save her. And if there's one thing that I know about the Harpels, and I think it's fair to assume that you're part of the same family that protects Longsaddle, that continues to do so.
My father was, yes.
There's one thing I know about that name. is that people will do anything to help other family members out. Now, your wife isn't related to the Harpel name by blood, but she is still your family. And by extension, as a Harpel myself, she is my family. And so I did what I had to, and I helped her, despite what she did to us. Snipe isn't related to me by blood, but they are my family, and by extension, they are your family. And for that reason, you should do everything in your power to help them, even if it means doing some risky things, just as you did for your wife, just as I did for your wife.
Blood is blood, yes?
Blood is blood.
If the summoning goes wrong, if this goes awry, I will not promise to undo whatever damage has been done. Because there is no undoing the damage that is done when these things go awry. My wife will live forever under the specter of some powerful ancient force haunting her for the rest of her life, for the rest of our lives. But I will do what it will take to save your friend Snipe.
Thank you.
That is what I will promise.
That is all I'm asking. Thank you.
You looked like a Harpel. It is all in the nose and the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have to go contact a Celestial. So if
Yeah,
you will excuse me.
I should go check on Seymour, make sure he didn't take out his sword again and company where it wasn't wanted.
I heard Bill screaming earlier.
Yeah, I should probably check that out.
Oh, my
Probably
ass.
should.
Oh.
All right. We part as friends. And you go off to take care of that. Back in Skirnabel. You all are making your way downstairs to the bar. It's night. If you are going to do this, now is the time to do it. Tell me about what you guys are doing as you approach this bar.
Are you okay, Snipe?
No, but I'm never okay, so no changes there.
Want to have a drink before you go down?
As long as it's not that strange concoction that Hattie nearly killed the pair of you with.
There's nothing wrong with my drink, I'll have you know. It was great.
Just a bottle of rosé or a glass of rosé.
Fancy.
Yeah.
The bar is still full of music, even more so now that it's after dark. A band plays on the stand. A surprisingly lively tune for the grim vibe that our trio is giving off as they come down the stairs. The room smells of, spices and soaps and alcohol and all of these people from all of these different places coming together to revel in the different kinds of talents that they all share. You all order a bottle of rosé from the bar, and the elven gentleman who runs it, with the scarred face, brings you a bottle and 3 glasses and pours out the bottle between the 3.
Shall we toast?
Sure.
Yep.
To whatever may come.
I ran out of wine. This was almost perfect.
Alright. I take my drink and then I kind of drink it in one, not shooting it down, but just like slowly without taking a breath. And then I ask the barman for a shot of whiskey, if they have any.
He'll pour one, yeah.
I pay him however that much that is.
Yeah, handful of gold.
Don't worry, I'll pay for it.
Of course you
So,
would.
Snipe,
Mm-hmm.
how do you think this is gonna go?
I don't know. Not well, probably.
That's really vague, kind of unnerving, but also very unhelpful. It's almost impressive, actually.
Yeah. Well, it's the perfect situation to be in. I have no idea what we're going into.
So we're
Do
just
you?
gonna roll up and be like, yo, give us a demon.
They're not going to be that generous. I wish they'd
Baby.
be that generous.
I think our best plan, well, as much as we can have a plan, I think our best shot is to just listen and wait out. Not do anything strange, not say anything strange. Listen what they have to say.
So I will not be talking then.
Let's just assume not. No.
I can punch people if things get rowdy, but I can be quiet. As I proved.
You did.
Only if it seems like shit really is going to hit the fan.
Yeah,
But
Should we
understand
have
might
like a
be-
code word or like a policy of like if they hit first, I'm good to go? Or
Do you want a code word?
yeah, I really want a code word. I don't normally
What's
do
the code
this with
word,
other
then?
people, so I have to make the judgment on my own.
What's the code word then?
Books. No, wait, we could just accidentally say that in conversation.
Book what?
How do you know about that?
I do quite like bookworm.
About what? I was just guessing. You said book, and I just thought, what comes after book? Bookshelf. That seems a bit too general. Bookworm. That seems quite, conspicuous.
Is this like a bad time to like talk about the future or
I mean,
What time
All right,
is
I'm
it
gonna be
now?
real with you guys. It's been a session. You're going to accidentally knock 4 times on this bar.
oh, no, I was gonna say like, I was gonna
Like,
say.
I'm cool with all of this. You
We
guys
need
are
to
doing
go.
great RP, but
I was
it's
just gonna
been
say,
a
like, if
session,
Hattie-
and this is where we
Yeah.
left off last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's
The
got to move
exact
forward
same
at some
place,
point.
yeah.
It
No.
has to go forward.
I was just gonna say,
Okay.
like, if
Just-
Hattie just like finishes it, I just like as soon as she starts talking, I just sigh and just take a shot of whiskey, and then I slam the glass down and knock 4 times on the table as I do.
so we're not going to discuss the fact that I talked to a god, we're just going to
Well,
You said you
talked-
wouldn't talk about it until
Oh.
I gave you the golden tooth, so no, we're not going to talk about it.
Okay.
As Snipe knocks on the bar, I will say, and another glass of whiskey.
The barman will come over. You want a glass of whiskey from up here?
Curious what's downstairs.
Well, knock 4 times and you might find out. Follow me. Until walk into the back room of the bar. I assume that you guys follow him, but yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just sitting there.
All right. Just like, wow, that was a weird thing for a man to say. He leads you into the back room of the bar, to the back corner where there is a velvet curtain. And he parts it and he says, I just run the Bloody Oak. So you'll have to talk to them.
Okay, no problem with that.
And you will walk down a flight of stairs. And music greets you all. At a point about halfway down, there's sort of you can still hear the music from the Bloody Oak and also this new music. But slowly the Bloody Oak fades away, even though it can't be more than 10 feet above where you are. And you turn a corner and there's this light jazz music playing from somewhere. And you see a room that is, it's like, imagine the cantina from Star Wars mixed with the red room from Twin Peaks. It's just like everyone here is like you all are like Raina is the only one that's even close to dressed correctly for this place. Everyone here is dressed to the nines. There are these beautiful like silk and velvet red curtains that are separating out these like spaces, but you can see like tables and like dim candles on tables all over the place. There's a smell of cigar smoke in the air as this like light jazz plays. And there's a bar with a bartender who's just like completely decked out for this. And there is a woman standing behind a podium, and she says, "Welcome to the Nightshade. Are you expected guests for anyone?"
Yep.
What's the name?
I believe he's going by Artaxis is looking for us.
Ah, yes, Artaxis. Okay. It looks like he rented out one of our private rooms. Will you be in need of any menus?
I look at Hattie.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay. Is Hattie still wearing her formal gi?
Yeah, she probably got dressed into it. She wouldn't want to have gotten into the muddy stuff, so probably, yeah.
Okay,
Her hair's
actually,
still
so
wet
Hattie's
from the
like
laugh.
kind of dressed for this, yeah. She will lead you through the tables to sort of the back of the room, sort of through these curtains, and you kind of get glimpses of the people at the tables. They seem to be sitting in groups of like 2 to 4, and they're all having very quiet conversations that are like half hidden by the music that's playing from somewhere. You kind of get a glimpse of a band on a stage, like through some of the curtains. And she takes you to this place where she pulls back the curtain. And there is a room with red tapestries hanging from every wall. As soon as you walk in, the sound from the band is immediately muffled. And there is a table. And it's a round table. There's chairs for 6. And there are 2 people already seated. And one of them, he stands up. You recognize him immediately as Lord Artaxis. When you saw him in the forest, he was dressed as elven nobility. He was wearing long flowing robes, this like antlered headpiece, very Celeborn. Just like very ethereal, very noble, very glidey. Here, He wears a well-tailored jerkin, a very nice silk shirt, like very well-tailored riding pants with high riding boots. His hair is plaited in like the latest style. And you clock immediately on walking in, particularly you, Raina, that even though it's entirely different clothing, it is the exact same vibe, which is, I am higher class than you. And as he stands up, he says, Snipe, a pleasure for you to finally make it. I wasn't sure if you'd make it down. You were pacing upstairs for a few hours, weren't you? But, you know, death as a motivation tends to finally get people to do things, doesn't it? I believe that you are familiar with my associate here. And you look to the side, and for the first time, you really take in who's sitting next to him, looking completely out of her element, sitting here in her leather ranger armor and her dull forest colors. Arvenia Monkshood, the exiled ranger of the Misty Forest, is sitting at the table next to him, looking worried and unsure, and upon seeing you says, Hey Snipe, we're both a long way from the forest now, aren't we? And that is where we will end our session.
Beautifully done.
Oh, damn.
Oh, I'm so excited about this, and I wish I played a character that had like just an ounce of eloquence or the ability to talk to people.
I love the
You don't
idea
need
that
that, you need
that's,
luck.
I love that the idea that that's where Jenks wanted to leave off last session.
Yeah.
And he didn't get there until this
It
session.
absolutely was.
Yeah.
I think that's the first time Jack's gone, alright guys, come on.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go.
Look,
I knew that
I
was gonna
love you
happen.
all.
I
love
was
everything.
I was setting up to just like say, "Oh, Hattie, go ahead," and then just immediately down the whiskey and knock to just say, "Let's just fucking go."
Yeah.
While Hattie's in a trance of talking.
Leaving Hattie up there rambling to herself.
Oh no.
Just talking and not seeing Sniper Raina just walk off like
It's halfway through, just going, "Guys."
And then you run.
Yeah.
Goes and has another bath. Practices her swimming.
Yo,
Soph, you were so on
Thanks, man.
point today, dude. Oh my
Really
god,
good.
Soph. Yeah, it was
Very
sick. It was really good. Really, really good.
so fun.
got lots of good notes down. Excellent. Well, thank you all for joining us for another episode of the Road to Elturel. Hope that you can all join us next week as we continue our story, and we have the meeting with Lord Artaxis, who's a delightful fellow that I can't wait to tell you all about. Tune in tomorrow for Crimson Puddle on Sundays.
Hell yeah, dude.
On Wednesdays, you can check out I Rolled Therefore I Am, which is really fun and really cool. And final plug for Tuesdays, we are wrapping up the mini campaign adventure, the Riverton Mystery Club on Power Word Casual. So you guys can go see what happens whenever you try to get an archfey to help you with something, and see how well that goes. That's all I can think of. If there's anything that I'm missing,
Oh,
No,
good. I think we're
I think that's
That's
it.
about it.
I think that's
Yeah.
it.
then I hope everybody has a good evening, and until next time, adventure on.
Peace. Bye.